Okay, I'm recording. So here's my visual aid. And then here are my people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So today we are going to talk about intimacy versus isolation. Was our prior speech. And now we're going to talk about how identity and intimate relationships is crucial for healthy intimate relationships. So have you guys ever seen the movie Failure to Watch? An adult male lives at home with his parents. He has never truly gained autonomy or independence, and he has never achieved that identity crisis until his parents forced him, without his knowledge, to conquer these issues. It is crucial to gain autonomy and independence for us to facilitate healthy, intimate relationships. And in doing so, we must achieve the identity stage of the psychosocial development. And we must have firm commitments on the identity issues. Oh, we have a sixth member that joined us. Okay. So, back to our identity issues. We also have to have a high vocal and be able, or high vocational, and be able to manage organic stress. Otherwise, we won't be able to have healthy, intimate relationships. So, since we're all working women with families, or about to build our families, it is crucial for us to learn this for our growth. It is important for us as working adults to build our relationship with our coworkers, and it is equally important for us to build relationships for our future families. So, in the speech, I'm going to persuade you to believe that gaining autonomy and independence is crucial for the development of the healthy, intimate relationship. I'm going to do this by explaining the identity crisis and how it must be accomplished, or trouble with intimacy and identity will occur. I'm also going to explain how these do not have, or explain how those who do not have a firm commitment may have a compromised identity achievement status. I'm also going to educate you on the fact that individuals with high vocational maturity and those who can manage their organic stress have a higher identity resolution. So now that we know the topics we are going to cover and how they are relevant to our understanding, let's cover them. So we're going to explain the identity crisis and how it must be accomplished. Characteristics of individuals who have a sense of identity and that confusion about that identity do not have a sense of identity. Characteristics of those who have a good sense of identity are able to physically and emotionally have close relationship with their friends without having fear of loss of self. So that is crucial in gaining autonomy with our healthy, intimate relationships. It is also shown that characteristics of those who have a good sense of identity are inclined to have less trouble in being physically and emotionally close to others. Erikson's stage of identity versus role diffusion is accomplished by leaving no unresolved issues. It is in the proper accomplishment of identity versus role diffusion for one to have a coherent sense of self and have plans to actualize one's abilities. So we know that not accomplishing this identity versus role confusion leads to feelings of confusion, indecisiveness, and possibly antisocial behavior. Now that we know how identity crisis must be accomplished, or trouble with intimacy and identity will occur, let's see how those who do not have firm commitments on identity issues may have a compromised identity achievement status. So we are going to explain these issues by defining those in a status that do not have a firm commitment on identity issues. The identity status is a compromise, or in the compromised individuals have a problem with their occupation and ideology subsequent to a period of crisis, which is incompatible to alternatives and which actually are seriously weighed. Those who express firm commitments in their identity areas but report that they have never had a serious considered alternative choices have a less identity have a less identity about themselves as that person. So, and those who have an intimate status versus those who have an isolate status, those relationships are the kind of relationships that we want to have. Research shows that those who are located in the intimate status have several close friends and a relatively lasting heterosexual relationship. Those in the isolate status have fewer acquaintances with those who have the infrequent relationship and lack intimacy. So now that we've covered how those who do not have the firm commitments may have the compromised identity, let's find out how those individuals have a high vocational maturity and can manage their organic stress by having those personal relationships as opposed to those who do not. So we're going to educate on the fact that the individuals who have the high vocational maturity and who can manage their organic stress have higher identity resolution. Individuals who show the adjusted choices demonstrate a higher level of psychosocial development. It is successful in the resolution of the identity crisis that individuals with the vocational choices have that crisis when the vocational choices need to have that social interaction. Individuals with that maturity will demonstrate a significantly more successful resolution with the identity crisis than those who are low in the vocational maturity. Lack of intimacy can also lead to poor sleep health. It is showed that sleep influencing stress may arise from external factors or events such as marital disruption, physical illness, social pressures. It may also be internally meditated and reflect the general adjustments and those presence of long-term psychosocial crisis. The lack of intimate interpersonal contact displayed by the young adult insomniacs is constant with the descriptions of failure to resolve successfully in that psychosocial of the early adulthood, and the failure to achieve intimacy and the inability to feel concern for and share with another person results in a varying relationship. So, in conclusion, let us review what we have learned about the identity crisis, what must be accomplished, or trouble with the intimacy and identity issues will occur. We can clearly see that if the intimacy crisis is not resolved, then we cannot have healthy relationships that are formed. Now that you see that gaining autonomy and independence is crucial to our development to facilitate the healthy, intimate relationship, by identifying what the identity crisis is and how it must be accomplished, or trouble with the intimacy and identity will occur. We've also been made aware that those who do not have a firm commitment on identity issues may have a compromised identity achievement status. We also know now that individuals with a high vocational maturity and those who can manage their organic stress have a higher identity resolution. Because we are working adults and we see that building our healthy relationship is important to our relationships, our coworkers, and with our building of our families. So, the living at home with your parents as a bachelor and Failure to Launch showed, it might seem like it has its advantages, but that man did not successfully go through the proper developmental stages to obtain his intimacy status. So here again is my visual aid, and I had another member walk in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Thank you. Yeah. Oh, and there's our other member. Thank you.